This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised as some cases contain graphic content. We mean no disrespect to anyone we discuss in this podcast except our exes. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. However, we will be expressing our personal opinions. Buckle up, Buttercup.
Hey guys, it's Cynthia.
And I'm Wes, and this is Love and Luminol, a true crime podcast.
Yay.
Yay. It's us.
Sorry, it took a second to get my bearing back. He commented on my gray hair, and that's all I can think of at the moment.
She was making comments about my beard, so I had to get her back. That's how we roll.
So now my mind's off the game. But today, we'll discuss Timmothy Pitzen.
Alrighty.
Have you heard of that one?
I have not.
Surprising. It's well known. I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Can't be too well known or I would have heard of it.
In Illinois.
Okay.
Well, you'll learn today.
Maybe I know it, I just don't know the name.
Possibly you're bad with names.
I am.
Unless it's your exes, you know all their names.
I don't know your name.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't unless you said your name at the beginning.
I did.
Each episode. That's what I'm saying. That's how I know your name. Because I hear it often enough.
You're a fan, huh?
You fan.
All right. Well, let's get into this one.
All right. Here we go.
Anyway, anything you want to discuss before we get into this one?
Not that I can think of. We did finish that book. We're going to do a book talk later.
Show and tell.
Yeah. That was the one we've read.
Put it behind the skull so I know it's center. That's the one we just finished. So if you want to know what we felt about it, it's on TikTok later. Well, by the time you get to see this video, it's on TikTok.
It's probably already out there.
Yeah. Forget it takes some time.
We're probably going to record it right after this.
Yeah. So it would have been our other. So you're like, yeah, old news. We already saw that.
We already saw that shit. Well, there's some people that don't go to our TikTok. They strictly do this. So they'll be like, oh, I didn't know they did that.
So
Let me go check it.
if you have interest in the horror books, you can go to TikTok and see. We thought of that one.
Yeah. Most of the time we do smut books, but we've been on a horror kick lately. And I'm actually liking it. I'm liking horror kick.
You're liking horror book talk?
I am.
I like smut book talk.
Yeah, well, you go
Not
read that
the
on your
same.
own, you nasty bitch.
You're nasty. Hey, I read my porn instead of watching it like a lady.
Uh-huh. I know. I know how ladylike you are.
Whatever. So, Timmothy Pitzen.
Alrighty.
We're going to go next door to Illinois today, Aurora.
What did you just say?
Next door to Illinois.
There's no. We've talked about this before.
Illinois.
Thank you.
The S is for shits and giggles.
It is. It's for shut the fuck up and don't use the S.
We're going to go next door to Illinois.
You should know better. It's your people.
Okay. That's what?
It is. Illinois is a Native American word.
We probably said the S, too.
No, that you did not. Like Iroquois?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then.
Illinois. Whatever.
Uh-huh. Aurora.
Illinois.
I know exactly where Aurora is.
You know exactly where Aurora is?
Yeah.
It sounds familiar. Have we
Party
been there?
time. Excellent. Wayne's World. See, people, this is what I deal with. She doesn't even know what Wayne's World is.
Leave me alone.
Wayne's World was a Mike Myers movie. The guy who plays Austin Powers and all
Is that
Shrek.
an elevator? No, I was thinking something else. Does it have to do with an elevator and time traveling or something?
No.
That's a different movie I'm thinking of.
Wayne's World was two stoners in a basement who had a public access TV show.
And that
That's
was
what
your
it's-
senior year of high school.
True. But it was originally a Saturday Night Live skit that they turned into a movie. The two characters are from Aurora, Illinois.
Oh. But we're going to go over Timothy James Pitzen. And that is him right there.
All right. Oh, boy.
What? I know. I gave you a little bit of a break. We're back into the children. But it's a slight pull. It's not a horrible child one. All of them's horrible, but...
It's not a horrible child
Oh,
one.
you know what I meant. It's
In
not
this
like...
one, you might actually like it.
No, It's all the children ones are horrible, but this one's not a grotesque one, I guess.
It's still bad. It's a
It's
kid.
still rough, yeah.
So, fuck you.
What? You know what I meant. It's a horrible case, but that's Timothy, born October 18th of 2004.
Okay.
6 years old. So he's a baby. Parents was James and Amy Pitzen.
Alrighty.
And there is family photo. That's him with his mom and dad.
Aw.
Any of them look familiar at all to you?
No.
Nothing yet?
Just because I've been to Aurora doesn't mean I've seen these people.
No, I figured you would have seen the faces on the news or something. You
No.
jackass.
It doesn't. It doesn't. They don't look familiar.
He is an only child.
Mm-hmm.
There's another family photo. Them goofing around.
Mm-hmm.
And then, there's another photo. See, I took good notes. Second photo is Amy and Timothy.
Okay.
He's got like a Super Bowl ring on or something.
That does
That's
look like a
huge
Super Bowl ring.
It does.
Somebody, maybe the father is a sports memorabilia collector, and they took a picture where he's wearing a Super Bowl ring. I don't know.
Possible. I don't know. In the background, I don't know if they're in a museum or somewhere.
No, because the window looks like it goes outside, unless that's another picture.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Who knows? But that's a big ring. His grandmother was Alana. I think it's Alana. Alana Anderson. And that was Amy's mother.
Okay.
And there's a picture of Miss Alana.
Uh-huh.
You're like, uh-huh. And Alana lived in Antioch, Illinois?
Antioch?
Yes. Antioch.
I don't know that one.
Illinois. Amy had a sister named Kara Jacobs. There's Kara.
Okay.
But Timothy, little Timothy, attended kindergarten at Greenman Elementary School. Amy and James were having some issues in the marriage. Because Amy had
Aren't we all?
Right now. Amy had a history of mental health issues.
Okay.
And she did not want to get divorced for the fourth time. It's her fourth husband. Yeah. This
Was
is
it
her
the
only
mental
child.
health issues that were causing these?
I think so. I think they were contributing to him. But she had a history of mental health issues. She didn't want to get divorced. This is the fourth time she was married. But Timothy was her only child. So she had 3 ex-husbands, no children, and then she had 1 child with James.
Okay.
Her 4th husband. So she said, I gotta make this one work. But there's them out again. It looks like they're camping somewhere. But Amy had been fighting depression.
All right.
So that was one thing she was dealing with. It's a picture of her. But she was fighting depression real bad. She had 2 previous failed suicide attempts and 3 failed marriages before she married James. She had it rough. James said, quote, we had a little episode when I found out she was talking and had lunch with her first ex-husband. I go, you can make the decision. Where do you want to be? Either married to me or you can go back to your first ex-husband, but I'm going to get custody of Timothy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Said, you do you, but I'm taking the boy.
Damn.
That's James.
Way to go, sir.
All right. On May 11th, 2011, so 13 years ago, Timothy was dropped off at school by his father.
Mm-hmm.
He was picked up shortly after by Amy. Around 8:10, 8:15 a.m.
I can tell where this is going.
You can tell where this is going? I bet you don't. But she said there was a family emergency and she needed to pick up Timothy. Of course, he was just dropped off because I think school started like 8.
Mm-hmm.
This was 8:15, 8:10. So they're like, okay. That's a short amount of time for a family emergency to pop up. They're probably like, he just walked out the door dropping him off and then...
Now all of a sudden there's a family emergency.
Yeah, now you're back. Like, did he get ran over in the parking lot? Like...
Yeah, that's quick.
That is pretty quick, but there's a picture of the security system of her and Timothy leaving the school.
Mm-hmm.
Amy never contacted her husband after picking Timothy up, so James just thought he was still at school. So when James arrived to pick Timothy up from school, he was told that Amy picked him up for an emergency that morning. And he tried to call Amy, see what was going on, and she did not answer him. So he's like, okay, I'm filing a missing person report, because that's just weird.
Yeah.
So an Amber Alert was not started because Amy had not yet to commit a crime. And
True.
Timothy was not suspected to be in any danger since that's his mom. Like, she took him.
Yeah.
So they didn't do an Amber Alert. But there's a picture of Amy and Timothy. But the Girl Scouts of Greenman banded together just days after his disappearance to tie yellow ribbons around trees in the neighborhood. So everyone was out looking for him. But Amy took Timothy on a 3-day trip. Yeah. They visited various amusement parks and water parks, which were his favorite things to do.
Mm-hmm.
So she took him to a few different places. Why are you rubbing your face? You're like, I know. They checked into a motel, and then Amy dropped her vehicle off at a repair shop at 10 a.m. An employee at the shop then drove Amy and Timothy to the Brookfield Zoo while they worked on her vehicle.
Yeah. Been there many times.
Brookfield Zoo? But Timothy loved the zoo, and he loved water parks. So they returned and picked up the vehicle at 3 p.m., and then she decided to drive to Key Lime Cove Resort in Gurney.
Yep.
Where they spent the night. So you know that place too?
Yeah, it's near Six Flags Great America.
Oh.
It's right down the street.
So after the zoo, she got her car, and up there they went. On May 12th, 2011, so the next day, they drove to Kalahari Resort in Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin.
Been there too. Not that specific resort, but Wisconsin Dells.
Yeah. And they were spotted in the checkout line on security footage at 10 a.m. at the hotel the next day. So that's them leaving out the hotel.
Okay.
So he's with her still. But that was the last time Timothy would be seen.
Okay.
Cameras. Amy originally took the main roads at the beginning of the trip. And that's how police were able to track her movements through cell phone calls and the iPass records, all that.
Mm-hmm.
But May 13th, 2011, after leaving Kalahari between 12 p.m. and 1:30, Amy called several family members, including her mother and brother-in-law. She told them that her and Timothy were safe and not in any danger. And Timothy was even heard in the background stating that he was hungry, and even spoke to a couple family members over the phone for a little bit. So he was there and fine. Then Amy drove 170 miles towards Sterling and then turned off her phone.
Okay.
But the cell phone tower data indicated that the calls were made from an area northwest of Sterling, Illinois, near Route 40.
Okay.
I still don't know what it is. At 7:45 p.m., Amy was seen alone on security cameras at a Family Dollar in Winnebago, Illinois, where she bought a pen, notepaper, and envelopes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Write some letters.
by the time she's in that store, Timothy wasn't with her. And at 8 p.m., she was seen at Sullivan's Food Store in Winnebago again by herself. And at 11:15 p.m., she checked into the Rockford Inn at Rockford, Illinois. The next day, on May 14th at 12:30 p.m., Amy's body was discovered by the hotel maid who went in to clean her room.
Okay.
Yeah, she'd taken her own life by slashing her wrists and neck.
Holy shit.
And she overdosed on antihistamines.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Antihistamines, really?
that's what it says.
That's weird.
She must have took a bunch of them. They weren't
It's like
given the effect she wanted, so she went to the, I don't know what order it was in, but
it's a weird choice. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's all she could get at the dollar store.
possibly. But she left a note. In the
Hence
note,
the paper.
Yep. She apologized for the mess she caused and said that Timothy would never be found, but was safe with people who would care for him.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And she also made some derogatory comments about James in the note. Loser type things.
Mm-hmm.
But police found the knife she used to take her own life at the scene. It was tested and only her blood was found on the knife. Her vehicle was examined. It was found parked in the parking lot of the hotel. There was a concerning amount of blood found in her car that belonged to Timothy. However, However, family members stated that it could have been from a nosebleed he had earlier that month.
Okay.
But there was enough in there that they made note of it. It was noted that Amy's cell phone was missing. So I don't know where her cell phone is. There's video footage of the pair going to the Brookfield Zoo, the Key Lime Cove Resort, and then the Wisconsin Dells, Kalahari Resort.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of a little map of her.
That looks about right.
All down through there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she started here and went where? Up there, then back down?
Well, yeah, but in between she stopped. So she would be in Gurney and Brookfield. It'd be Brookfield, Gurney, Wisconsin Dells, then Rockford. But obviously somewhere between Wisconsin Dells and Aurora is where the kid, something happened with the kid.
Mm-hmm. Well.
Or not Aurora, Rockford.
Mm-hmm. A few days later, Amy's mother and friend received a letter in the mail from her describing her mental health struggles and how even her loyalty to her son was unable to save her. And her tires and undercarriage were examined on her car, and dirt was recovered from her tires. And today's technology is being used to determine what specific location that dirt came from in order to track down the last place Amy was before her death.
Mm-hmm.
Like trying to get a general area. Evidence supported that her vehicle had been parked in a grassy area, possibly near a stream, but close to the highway.
Okay.
So near water. The dirt did not match dirt found in northern Illinois.
So Wisconsin?
So yeah, that's what I was thinking, because it didn't match dirt in northern Illinois.
So if you look at Wisconsin Dells and then come down the highway and then find like a grassy area with stream, you'd probably find it.
Mm-hmm. Cell phone records revealed that Amy had taken 2 unexplainable trips to the Dixon Rock Falls Sterling area early 2011.
Okay.
And those trips remain a mystery. They don't know why she took trips that way.
Was the kid with her both times?
No, this was before even this. This was early 2011. This is like January, February.
I'm just saying, was the kid with her?
No, it didn't say. But on December 28th, 2011, a report came in that Timothy was seen at a Denny's in North Aurora.
What?
Yeah. Police tracked down the vehicle he supposedly got in, and it turned out to be the son of the car owner. So just a man and his son at the Denny's.
Okay.
So it wasn't them.
I was going to say, how do you get all the way back home?
No. In 2013, so 2 years later, Amy's cell phone was found beside Route 78.
Okay.
But it led to no new leads, wherever 78 is. Because they tracked her along 40 and then she shut her phone off. But her phone was found near Route 78. We're going to jump to April 3rd, 2019.
Okay.
Local residents in Newport, Kentucky.
What?
Called the police to report a teenager wandering the streets after running across a bridge over the Ohio River. You're like, what?
The hell?
When police found the boy, he told them that he was Timothy. FBI Louisville, FBI Cincinnati, Aurora Police Department, Newport Police Department, everybody. Cincinnati Police Department and Hamilton County Sheriff's Office.
What is Cincinnati getting involved for?
I don't know, but they investigated this boy's claim. I guess because he crossed the Ohio River.
Yeah, but the Ohio River is just the river that between Indiana and Kentucky. It goes. You can, if you get on the river, obviously you can end up in Ohio.
I was
But
gonna say, does it go any? Because I
that
think
crossing-
Newport, Kentucky's like over on the side of Kentucky. So I don't know if he crossed from Ohio to Kentucky, and so Ohio, Cincinnati,
Maybe.
whatever. I don't know. Geography wasn't my strong suit. I was like, I don't know. But the next day, the Louisville office of the FBI revealed via Twitter that the boy they found was not Timothy.
what the fuck?
Yeah, even though he said he was not Timothy.
Oh my god.
Aurora Police spokesman Sergeant Bill Raleigh said, although we are disappointed that this turned out to be a hoax, we remain diligent in our search for Timothy as our missing persons case remains unsolved. So the teen ended up being 23-year-old Brian Michael Reaney. 23,
Okay.
not a kid. Yeah. It's a picture of him.
He does look similar.
He does, don't he? He was released from Belmont Correctional Institution in Ohio less than a month prior. He served 14 months on charges of burglary and vandalism out of Medina County.
Huh.
He has a history of mental illness and had been diagnosed with Asperger syndrome and bipolar disorder.
Okay. Asperger's, an offshoot similar to the autism spectrum.
Oh.
I think it actually is considered under the autism spectrum.
Well, see, I heard of it before, but I didn't know what exactly it was.
And we know what bipolar is.
Yeah, we do. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison for this hoax, for him saying he was Timothy. I guess he just heard this kid was missing, saw pictures, like, I can be him, and decided he was going to try to pull this off. But it was not him.
Weird.
Timothy's case was featured on Live PD on August 25th of 2018 with guest Angeline Hartman of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. There's also an episode covering his case on Real Life Nightmare, episode You'll Never Find Him, first airing on December 6, 2020. So James believes that his son is still alive and that his wife just gave him to somebody.
Jesus.
Yeah, like her note said, he's safe with somebody. You'll never find him. He thinks that she gave him to somebody. He moved to Clinton, Iowa, but continues to search for Timothy. Right here is James doing interviews about Timothy being missing, and there's Timothy's missing poster with an updated age progressed photo to where he would be 16 years old. So that was 10 years after. That was 2021.
Okay. So he'd be like 20 now,
Yeah. So,
right?
Yeah. About it. So that's his age progressed photo. His family believes that he's alive and living in a religious community or cult. Linda Pitzen, which is Timothy's grandmother, James's mom, has a theory that Amy gave Timothy away to Mormons in May 2011, just days before killing herself. She said, quote, I think she wanted Tim to be raised Mormon. The rest of us aren't Mormon, and I think this way was her way of making sure he was after she's gone. Because Amy was a Mormon and was very serious about her religion.
Interesting.
So they're thinking she took him somewhere where they lived, like off the grid, Mormon family that she knew, and just said, take Timothy for me.
Interesting.
Yeah. She never pushed anyone except for Jim to be Mormon, though. Amy was not raised Mormon. She converted. She wasn't born Mormon. She just converted to it and was very devout. Timothy's former classmate, Hannah Sukup, said, quote, I believe she dropped him off somewhere. I don't know if it was in a religious area or something like that. Timothy was described as always being the fun kid in class who wanted to talk to everyone. And as of today, he's still missing. Not a word. But there is today a more modern photo of what he would look like.
Wow.
Yeah. He's still missing, and they had a little memorial bench put out for him thinking Aurora, I think.
Most likely.
But yeah, there's nobody's seen him in school under that name. He hasn't got any jobs under that name.
Well, obviously he's
Yeah.
been under a different name this whole time,
Yeah.
if he's still alive, so.
But that would be hard. At 6 years old, though, he knows his name.
Maybe his name is still Timothy. Maybe he, at 6, do you know your last name very well?
Well, yeah, you have to. Well, around here you have to get into school.
Okay.
He was picked up from elementary school. Like, they make sure you know your address, name, mama's phone number when you go to school. At least around here, I don't know, in Illinois.
Oh, no. Our
I
kids don't know
suspect.
our phone number or their address. How are they in school?
Well, they know our address. They give it out to kids on the bus all the time.
I think they just say that's it right there as they're passing by.
No. But I would assume you'd have to know his last name.
Oh, no. Maybe he really didn't, and
Maybe at that...
they just kind of pushed a different last name on him, and it just kind of stuck. At that age, you're very
I was gonna
impressionable
say, yeah.
anyway, so maybe they just
I said they could have known it,
convinced
and
him
they
his
just
last
kept
name was
calling him.
different.
Yeah, kept calling him by a different name, and he decided that.
I'm
he
pretty
just
sure they probably kept
remembered it.
Timothy just because your first name is very ingrained in you at that age. So maybe Timothy is still his name, but a different last name.
Yeah, maybe they're just correcting him and repeating it. He finally just like, that's my last name. Didn't even know, but it's very, I don't know. It's very weird. Why would you keep, if someone dropped off their kids like here, but don't tell him his name is Pitzen,
Yeah.
take him for me. I think I would have called the police. Been like, I didn't do nothing. She just dropped him off here. So I don't know. Would it have to be a... I don't know much about Mormonism.
His
Would they
name is
have-
Timothy Young.
Timothy Young.
I was just looking up Mormon last names.
Oh.
Smith, Young,
Timothy
Taylor.
That's killer.
Smith, Young, Taylor, Jensen. Young is, I've heard that a lot.
Young.
I hear that
yeah.
a lot with Mormons. So I'm going
If
to
it
go with
was-
Timothy Young.
Timothy Young. If you know a Timothy Young that looks like that in his early 20s, we need to talk. But I don't know. I don't know anything about Mormons, but would they if someone dropped off their kid, would they be like, we're going to take him in and change his name and not ask any questions? Or would they be like, he has a father, we're not taking a child from their father?
So I'm going to piss some people off.
It's like, I don't know enough
Yes,
of it.
yes, I think they would.
They would?
Yeah. I mean, I mentioned earlier that maybe she dropped him off with like a religious cult or
Yeah.
something. Mormonism is, sorry people if you're a Mormon, but it's a cult.
So they wouldn't. Because I was wondering, that's the only way. So if she gave it to a friend or something, then the friend's mom or the friend's cousin would say something. But if it's inside of a group like that, everybody would have been hush-hush.
Yeah, and Mormons are very hush-hush anyway. And if you leave, they shun you, they treat you like shit, like it's hard to get out of it.
But are they like... Because I'm wondering, she had to drive all this way up here. How does she know Mormons way
I mean,
up there?
she
Wouldn't
had-
they expect her to be there often if they're going to just take this her kid for her? And
Maybe it's somebody that she knew through Mormonism. Maybe it's like a group online or something. Who knows?
They sound like the ones that be like, you need to be here for this event at this time
No, they're more like
to be a part of us. Something.
She could have probably went like, my family won't let him be Mormon, and I really need him to be raised Mormon. Take him for me. And they're like, oh yeah, got to keep him away from the devil. We'll take him. Like,
But then their stance on suicide must not be as... I don't know enough about it. Because Christianity, that's like a sin. So they'd be
it's
like,
an
"You
offshoot
can't
of
do that."
Christianity. It's yeah.
So they would be like, no, that's damaging your soul.
Oh no, let's see.
He needs his mother, don't do it. for them to be like, oh, that's your plan? Okay, yeah, we'll take him. Like, I don't know how she did it. And the other part of me is, hopefully not. I'm thinking she did something to him.
Let's see here. Views on suicide. I mean, yeah, they don't like it.
That's why I'm so lost. Then she had to either make up some other story as why she can't keep him.
Maybe they don't know she killed herself.
That's what I'm saying. She had to have either a different story on why they had to keep him for her.
Like I said, I think it's,
Or she did something to him.
that too. That could be too. But if she gave him to a Mormon group, it was, save his soul, take him, kind of a situation. They're forcing me to keep him away from Mormonism. I'm trying to save his soul, take him. You know how. You know how religious folk are.
Yeah. But I was more nervous. It's like, well, she said, and she even said in her note, like, I gave him to someone, he's safe, don't look for him, you'll never find him.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking if she had, like, if there was a certain area where, I don't know, like Native Americans, they have certain lands
Well,
where you can be, like, buried on, and it's like a gift or something. I didn't know if there was a Mormon area somewhere where she could have done something to him, buried him there, and she didn't want people to disturb him or find him, so she's like, I gave him to somebody. So that way they're not looking random,
I don't know.
they're not looking for a body, they're looking for a missing child.
Maybe. I don't know.
And that's why I was wondering if there's something up there, a reserve or something special, but
I don't know. Most of the Mormons are like, they're like their special places are all in like Utah and stuff. So I don't know.
It's just weird because I figured if she gave it to her high school friend Lisa, then Lisa's mom would be like, "This kid popped out of nowhere, and he's not ours. I don't want, going to jail."
Yeah.
Unless it was something like in the Mormon group that's like, all of us know we're not going to talk. So
Yeah, it's probably yeah.
that's what I'm hoping, but that just means hope. Well, I guess if he stays in that group, he won't. I'm saying if he grows up and wanders off, he might recognize himself somewhere.
Maybe eventually, unless he
news
stays within
story.
that community.
Yeah. I don't know. Because he's all over, like, Unsolved Mysteries and
Well, again, I've never heard of this
Facebook.
case.
Yeah, true.
And I'm from that area up there in Illinois, pretty close actually. I mean, I wasn't that far from Brookfield Zoo growing up, which is where she took him.
Never heard of him.
Aurora is not far from Brookfield, and I lived right south of Brookfield.
Oh. And maybe he won't. I don't know.
So, in fact,
may never know.
I'm from that area, and I've never heard of this case. So, I mean, it probably was on the news randomly, but I don't remember ever hearing about it. So, maybe he'll never hear about himself.
Possibly not.
It's hard to say.
True. Unless probably one of his grandchildren down the road to do that 23andMe, and then it'll hook back to the Pitsons, and he'll be like, wait.
That would be the key, or he does it at some point in his life. I don't know.
And then that's how they trace him back. Because that would be about...
Do some Ancestry.com stuff.
Yeah. Because otherwise, at 6 years old, he wouldn't remember a whole lot, I don't think. I don't know. Do you remember his mom and dad?
I don't know. How many memories do you have of when you were 6 years old?
I remember... like I
there's
said...
a few I can
mom and
remember.
dad. Yeah. I remember my grandma picks me up from kindergarten every day. My little stuffed bunny, but I don't...
I have a few
I figured
random
I would
ones,
have known
but...
who my parents were, though.
Yeah. But then again,
If they suddenly
if it starts at
disappeared,
6
and
it just somebody keeps pushing one narrative at you forever.
it might straight. Yeah,
I mean,
it's a tricky thing.
After a few years, it's all that old stuff is like, you don't even think about it anymore.
True, that's all.
No. I mean, kids are sponges, so they'll take in all the new stuff and forget the old.
I'm just like that first 6 years of his life, they can just like overwrite.
Yeah.
And change his parents and his name, and it's just so weird to me. That's that.
I mean, he probably grew up and like still has flashes of memories of stuff that he can't put his finger on what it is.
Yeah.
Like he probably has memories of his dad and his mom, and he's like, who
The
is
zoo,
that?
the places he went.
That's another thing. If somebody at one point in his life brings up Brookfield Zoo, like he will, that's going to spark something like, that sounds so familiar. You know, I've heard of that somewhere.
Like I remembered vacations and things like that.
Yeah.
And he went like 3 days in a row. He went to like the zoo and then the
Wisconsin
resort
Dells is
and
going to be a big one. If anybody ever
Potter
takes him to
Park.
Wisconsin Dells,
They
like
did.
I don't even remember when I went to Wisconsin Dells. It must have been when I was really young, but I know I've been there.
Yeah,
Like
see?
it's a memory.
Like,
I don't recall all of it. I remember them doing like water ski tricks on the area there. They do like where they stand in a pyramid. People in a pyramid and they're water skiing. I remember seeing that as a kid, but I don't remember how old I was when I was
Do
there.
you remember who took you?
Most likely my dad. I don't 100% remember though.
See,
But
that's
that-
why I was wondering
that's
his
a-
point of view. He would remember the place, but he wouldn't remember
And
who took him.
I don't think I was younger than 6. I think I was
Yeah.
probably older. And I still don't remember
So he would-
100%.
Because he went to the zoo, and then the next day, I mean, he'd been to 2 different hotels, 2 or 3, I forgot. Went to the zoo, then
I'm
went to the
willing to-
water
yeah.
park and Dells, and
I'm willing to bet it was my dad that brought me there. That sounds like a place that... Because I know my dad's been to the Dells a bunch. So it's probably who I went with.
I say he remembered that
And I remember
trip.
going to Indiana Beach. I think that was probably my mom or somebody. I don't remember
Yeah,
who.
that's
Like, I just know I've been to these places at a young age. Now, we mentioned that water park in Gurnee, and I said it was right down the street from Six Flags Great America. That one I remember going to a lot.
Six Flags.
I've been there with my dad, my mom.
So they
I've been
didn't
there with
mention it
on
then.
school trips. Like, I remember that place. I
Yeah.
used to go all the time, so that's like an easy one. But the other ones, I know I've been, but the memory's not clear enough for me to know 100% about what age or who took me.
See, that's like, I don't know, it's fascinating. Because I'm like, for a kid that young, he got picked up from school right after he got dropped off, and then went on this 3-day zoo and water park adventure,
Yeah.
and then left with possibly strangers. I'd been like, I figured he would remember. That's a lot.
Yeah. That's why I asked. You said there was a place that they found she went randomly a few times that was odd.
Yeah, Sterling.
And that's why I asked if the kid was with her.
Ooh.
Because if he was with her in the past when they went to these places,
He
these
knew
people weren't strangers. Like, he's met them a few times and it was comfortable around him, so it didn't seem like, here you go, somebody you don't know. It was like, oh, that's Uncle Joe, you know?
True. I'm sure they hopefully looked into that. Well, they said she made some mysterious trips but couldn't figure out why, so they didn't. That makes me think they didn't know where she stopped. So I feel like if they knew where she stopped, they'd be like, oh, she went to see this person. But they said, we don't know why she went up that way. We know she went up that
That's
way.
what I'm saying. It may be somebody that she was meeting with that people weren't aware she knew.
Yeah.
So,
Something. Oh. Hopefully, if you see somebody that looks kind of like that age progressed photo,
tell them that they are this kid and they need to...
just call either the
freak
missing
somebody out.
children's hotline. Yeah, the police. Call somebody. Like I said earlier in the story, some kid was at Denny's with his dad, and they thought it was Timothy. Cop showed up. It wasn't Timothy. Didn't hurt nobody. But
Probably
just
freaked
imagine
that kid out.
Yeah, but I mean,
That kid's
He
like,
has a
what do you
cool
mean this
story."
isn't my dad?
he have a cool story later. But all I'm saying is, imagine if it was Timothy. You found him before it could have went somewhere worse. So if you think you see some 20-year-old and it looks like him, let's say, what's your name? Okay.
Jacob.
You need to check this guy out. Jacob Young.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt. Call a tip line. Say, I think I've seen him here. Then they look around. He might be him, might not. But definitely don't pull what this other dude did and say you're him when you're not.
Yeah, that's just
That was
weird.
like 6 different police departments. There,
some of them
wasting
we
their
don't even
time.
know why they're even involved.
I know, Cincinnati. There's like, what was it, FBI Cincinnati and Cincinnati police? I'm like, where did they come from? FBI Louisville, but this was Newport.
I mean, it's close enough, I guess.
I guess, but there's,
He also crossed the
there was
the Ohio River. You probably would have had to go
police
through
departments.
the Louisville area for that.
They're like, he crossed here. He's in our state now. Well, he peed over here on our bank, so that counts as our case too.
It's partially our jurisdiction.
5 different police departments in this room. Realizing
He was
that
walking
he
through
ain't
the
even
woods and he
Timothy.
used some of our leaves to wipe his ass when he had to go in the woods. So
It's our case.
it's our case.
He dropped a cigarette butt over here on our side of the bridge. It's ours. Because I couldn't imagine. And then to figure out all of them came rushing and everything, and to figure out that wasn't even him.
That's a waste.
That's when everybody's like, well, that's your case. And they take off.
Not ours.
Oh, well, never mind. That wasn't his cigarette butt. No. I mean, again, there's national hotline for missing
And exploited children.
Yeah, call that number. We'll put it out. You'll put it in the video.
Even though they're not a child
he's
anymore.
now 20, but he was a child when he was missing.
Yeah.
I'm sure they would still handle it, but police, anybody. Or he's 20-something now. Just buy him a beer and be like, what's your name? But hopefully still, because, I mean, it's a rough case. And it goes back to, I don't know what show I was watching. There's a show, I guess it was about missing. And this mom's like, I don't know what's worse, knowing that she goes, well, it was like her kid was missing. She's like, I don't know what I would prefer if I still want to have my hopes that she's out there somewhere, but then not know, like, if she's being hurt or anything.
Yeah.
Like being sex trafficked or anything, or that she's dead.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know which
Dead is at least
scenarios, but yeah, she goes, I don't know which one I'm hoping for, but and that's kind of this thing, like, I don't know. I know he's been missing. He's in his 20s.
That's hard.
But still, yeah, his dad's still looking for him. So if he's out there, then he definitely needs to know at least where he's came from and his family, his grandmas, and all that. So if you think you might be Timothy, it won't hurt you to do a cheek swab.
True.
Figure this out. I'm hoping someone recognizes him and calls and it, or he does something and he figures it out, but who knows? That's it for Timothy.
Right.
See, I told you it wasn't.
Not as
Still, see what I was trying to say? Still horrible, but not as horrible as the other ones you've had to deal with.
true.
But,
At least they're not raping or dismembering the children.
yeah, he's just missing.
All right. Well, feel free to like and subscribe to that.
That mess. I did my best.
All right. You can check us out at loveandluminol.com. There are links to both our audio and video podcasts and where to find them. There is also a contact form if you want to contact us on that. We are on social media everywhere except for X. It's at Love and Luminol for all of that. And those links are also on the website. Or you can just Google us. Love and Luminol. We're the first one that pops up. And check us out on the TikTok because we're about to do this book talk.
Yeah.
So by the time this video drops, that'll be sitting there waiting on you too.
Yep.
And go back and watch all the rest of them we did too.
And yes, I know I got to cut my eyebrow. It's not his camera work, but it's for Halloween costume. So if you can guess who I'm going to be, go ahead.
Crack whore?
No. I'll narrow it down to Monday night. There you go. I had to cut my...
Stripper?
I'm determined. I started just gluing it.
Stripper that don't make much money? You said Monday nights.
I'm not my mother. So I started by gluing it with flash glue, but then random hairs would like randomly break free and poke, so I'd like forget it.
You're
So
like,
I
screw
did
it,
a
I'm going to do
cut.
something a little bit more permanent.
This is dedication. I figured I can get a Sharpie and color it Me too.
I mean,
I got
that
black
might be
eyebrows.
obvious. I mean, because you go from hair to just black mark to hair.
Oh, well, what can you do? We worked with what we could work
It'll grow
with.
back.
It'll come back.
Bushier than the rest of it.
It'll come back gray.
Oh, that would suck.
What?
That would suck if
I'd
it
have a
comes
little
back a
gray
different
strip.
color.
I don't know. That'd be badass, I think.
You'd have a black streak in the,
Just
or one little gray
white
streak in the black
streak.
eyebrow.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, all right, that's all I got.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Can't wait to pick out your nursing home.